want to try battery?
Battery? Yeah. You can play that fast with your fingers?
Yeah!
Battery!
It's a fucking pretty mighty bass sound you got going on.
Robert Trujillo, I always regard him as one of the best bass players I've ever seen.
Oh, he's an excellent bassist. You know, I met him when he was still in Suicidal Tendencies. A really nice guy too.
He's phenomenal. He's an incredible bass player. He is incredible. He was incredible. I remember seeing Slayer at Ruthie's Inn. He was just all over the place.
Robert Trujillo is a very talented bassist on stage. He's probably a better player, technically, than either Cliff Burton or Jason Newsted. But if anybody's going to make a difference to that band, they have to be an equal partner and not a hired hand. And Robert Trujillo is a hired hand for Metallica. He's hired to play bass, do it very, very well. Absolutely very well. He's a dynamo on stage. But is he going to make any difference where it really matters in the studio when it comes to writing new songs and taking a lead in terms of Metallica's direction? I don't think so.
With Robert Trujillo in the band, a new album to promote, and the issues built up over the decades melting away, Metallica went on tour. But surprise, surprise, not everybody liked the new album.
The reason why St. Anger sounded the way it did was because they had an agenda behind it. They weren't just putting out an album with some songs. What they wanted to do was strip back everything, all the baggage that had accumulated over the decades, and go back to the old style and just produce a raw blast of musical fury. Now, while that approach is to be applauded, and in fact they bigged it up hugely before the record was released. This is the heaviest album, this is the fastest, it's extreme, it's this, that and the other. When it actually came out, everyone was ready for this, and there was this enormous disappointment because in fact it isn't that heavy, it isn't that fast, it isn't that exciting, it's not that powerful.
They've just lost sight of who they are, and are just kind of like, as people say, they're just kind of in this big loop, and I don't think they've really just kind of forgotten where they come from and what they were supposed to be.
The talent is still there, if the will is still there. Now, I feel that Lars and James are so far apart now, the only thing holding them together is the fact that they're in the same band. And even then, they're not quite sure why they're in the same band. I think they need something radical. I think they need to shake up that band. And you know how I'd shake it up? I'd bring back Dave Mustaine. I think you put Mustaine back in that band with Hetfield, with Ulrich, and with whoever on bass. I get Newsted back. I think you can actually have a great album in the making. But they need to shake things up because, to be honest, there's no connection between Lars Ulrich's traveling the world, hanging out with celebrities, buying art and following trendy music, and James Hetfield getting more and more into the redneck lifestyle, hunting, listening to country music, wearing cowboy boots. There's no connection between the two lifestyles anymore, and they come together and probably look at each other and say, who are you? Why are we sitting together? You put something like Mustaine into the mix as a catalyst, and I think then you have the real possibility of Metallica making another great album. And I'd like to see something of that radical nature happen.
It's one of those things where, you know, they've accomplished so much, you know, it's like, where do you go from here, you know? So now I think it's good, you know, it's important that they, like, you know, have fun with it, you know, have fun and just remember what it was about, you know. It's hard when you get older and you got, you know, your bank accounts are just like, you know, you can buy anything you want and you can do anything you want and you go wherever you want. It's like, what do? You know, it's hard to stay hungry when you're in that kind of situation.
Perhaps Metallica will surprise us all with more amazing metal albums. Or perhaps they'll gracefully retire in a few years' time. But whatever happens, you can bet it'll be interesting. And very, very loud.
I think like you could be like the Rolling Stones with like 50.
Hey! Yeah. Interesting, man. I'm not a prophet. I'm horrible at planning things. I can't, you know, that's why I got a wife, I think. But I'm not a prophet. When it doesn't feel right anymore, we're done. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Great.
Never did for what we do. Never did for what we do. Yeah, I know. Much more from the heart. But just who we are. And nothing else matters. Never did for what we do. Never did for what we do. And I know. I never opened myself this way. Without these eyes really far away. All these words I don't just say. And nothing else matters. Trust as she